What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Friday. Francesca, how are we doing on this lovely Thursday afternoon?
I feel great, and I'll tell you why. Feeling like I'm about to get back into the swing of things of being on tour with the Jonas Brothers, because this weekend I'll be in Denver for any of those who will be at the Red Rock show. I will be there. It's my first one of the tour so far. Very excited because, you know, some dates are now in question thanks to fucking Bachelor in Paradise.
Yep.
But I will be at the show Sunday night. We didn't say it, but we will not have an episode on Monday.
No, because
it is Labor Day, holiday weekend. And I just am like so excited. I've been getting a lot of memories on my phone, you know, photo memories and Snapchat memories and stuff of the tour 2 years ago, because it was really all like around this time that all their shows had picked up again. So feeling good.
I'm feeling good.
I got my suitcase packed with just a bunch of Jonas Brothers t-shirts. I'm really not bringing anything else.
You shouldn't bring anything else. Why would you bring anything else?
It's the easiest thing to pack for.
I didn't realize that's why you're going to Denver. I thought you had like a wedding or something.
Nope.
No, I'm
it's the Joe
going for the Jonas Brothers at Red Rocks for my first time at Red Rocks ever.
That seems like a really cool place.
That's going to be fucking
I've never been.
sick.
I'm really excited.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I am not going.
No.
I'm not. But that's okay.
I asked.
No, you did.
Just I asked.
Right now, I'm in the middle of retrieving our Harry Styles tickets, by the way.
Oh.
Yes, shout out to TickPick.
Yes.
Which will be very exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get to see the Jonas Brothers.
Nights.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get to see the Jonas Brothers.
What do you mean? Why would you not go to Jones Beach?
Oh, I forgot about Jones Beach.
Saturday, October 2nd, and then Harry Styles is Sunday.
Yes,
Red Rocks and Jones Beach are like two of the coolest.
Oh my God, Jones Beach is awesome. I think that
I've also never seen a concert at Jones Beach.
What?
It'll be my first one.
I've seen many of
I'm sure
Wiz Khalifa concerts at Jones Beach.
See, my Jones
anybody
Beach,
from Long Island knows
Yes.
Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller I actually
Kesha.
went to. Wiz Khalifa and I don't remember Kesha. Wiz Khalifa, Machine Gun Kelly.
There was
Yeah, bitch. Call me Steve-O.
Wiz Khalifa just loves Jones Beach.
Just
No, he just
loves going to
always did
Jones
like
Beach.
the outdoor summer tours.
Yeah.
Oh wait, like your Jones Beach is my PNC Bank. Like that's where we would go.
Oh, I
and
passed
went to
PNC
all
Bank
those.
one day and
yes,
thought of
it's
you.
on the. It's right off the Garden State Parkway. So I went to see all the Jonas Brothers shows at PNC. I went to there, but yes, the summer shows, the like Dave Matthews, Wiz Khalifa, like all those bands that always, and there's always country music. Jones Beach always has country music too, a ton.
Yeah, I've never been to a country music show. Though.
No, I
I
didn't.
saw the
Yeah.
Offspring there though, and 311.
Yes,
Wow.
they do a lot of good stuff. So the Jones Beach Jonas Brothers show is the 2nd, October 2nd. And then the PNC Jonas Brothers show is October 5th. But as of right now, that is a Tuesday night when I think Bachelor in Paradise is coming to an end. So it may or may not be the finale at that point, I think. So
Either
it's
way,
tough.
it will be a great weekend for you though.
Oh my God, I mean, nonstop music. Because the Harry Styles tickets that we have acquired are for Sunday night. I have tickets to Monday night as well.
It's going to be unreal.
So
That's the same thing I'm going to do with John Mayer. He plays Sunday night and Monday night in MSG.
so if Bachelor in Paradise was not in the conversation here, it would be my absolute dream lineup of Jonas Brothers Saturday, Harry Styles Sunday, Harry Styles Monday, Jonas Brothers Tuesday.
That would be crazy.
Just a Jonas Brothers sandwich with Harry Styles smacked in the middle. That's like my biggest dream.
You're going to be horny.
All week long. You won't be able to get me to shut up about those guys. I'm very excited.
I'm jealous. I am going to be going to a lot of concerts this fall as well, but I'm entering like a rave stage in my life.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of DJs.
I am. I don't know what happened, but I'm like Franny.
Look,
from
I did
4 years ago.
I did it.
It's a good time though.
It's so fun.
So much
Those are the
fun.
best shows. Just dance.
So much fun.
So much dancing.
And I love to dance. You know, I love to dance.
Yep.
I love a good dance. Oh, we could talk about this.
You've been your own personal rave these days.
Oh, I just dance.
You really do just like kind of create your own raves. Like you just play music on your phone
and just dance by myself.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. I want to talk about Dave talking about thinking I brought a new boyfriend to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I walked into the office on Tuesday morning, and Gaz is standing at the front desk, and I take my AirPods off, and he's like, funny story about you on the Dave Portnoy show. I'm like, oh God. You know, like you hear a funny story about you on the Dave Portnoy show. You're like, what did I do?
Funny story on the Dave I'm doing syllables and not words. Funny story on the Dave Portnoy show.
I don't think you did story
7 words. What?
I don't think you did story as 2 syllables.
I didn't want to do syllables. I just wanted to do words.
Okay.
7 words you don't want to hear.
7 words you don't want to hear.
You said
everything you've done, you starts running through your brain. You're like, am I going to find it funny?
Yeah.
What's so funny about it?
The only thing worse than that is bad story about you.
Rough story about you on the Dave Portnoy show. No, but they were in Cleveland, and someone had told Dave that I was there with my boyfriend, and turns out it was just Bree and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And Dave basically said, I'm not allowed to have a boyfriend. So I'm just going to remain But
I do think it was like it was him being like, it's a little too soon.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll be good to go.
He's not wrong.
But it's, in his mind, too soon. And it's also not only it's more too soon to have the balls to bring a new boyfriend somewhere that Dave Portnoy would be.
Right. Like, I'm showing up to Cleveland with my new boyfriend.
Exactly. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you were, going on dates on your own time in private, but like not bringing the guy around Dave.
Yeah. Towards the end of the clip that I saw, he was like getting re-mad thinking that I brought a boyfriend to Cleveland. I was like, I didn't.
Yeah.
By the way, I did not bring a new boyfriend to Cleveland. I just want that on record. But the warning has been noted. And it was very funny.
Just Bree and Nick.
Those 2 lovebirds.
Those 2 crazy kids.
Those 2 crazy kids. Why don't we get into the topics, Francesca?
Oh, I got more things to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
What else you got?
One,
I was like,
one
time is ticking.
No, it's still quick.
I want to hear it.
One I watched. He's All That, and I thought it was adorable. People hate it. It's objectively not a good movie, but it was cute. Doesn't hurt anyone. Addison Rae was cute, and I have a newfound crush on Tanner Buchanan. I already had it from Cobra Kai.
You already had
It's just accelerated.
You have a big crush.
Yeah,
not a newfound one.
I'm about to say something ridiculous that you guys are going to laugh at, and it almost is. It's close to I love drinking. Podcasts are great.
That is very close to I love drinking.
Podcasts are great. I just feel like because we are always doing our podcast that we don't take the time as often to listen to other podcasts.
I listen to other podcasts.
I listen to
a bunch.
Okay, well,
on YouTube though. I don't really listen.
Yeah, on YouTube.
I watch a lot of podcasts on YouTube.
Okay, I'm talking solely like podcast app listening
is
to
this
podcasts.
the podcast you were talking about the other day?
Because some of these podcasts don't have YouTube. Some of the ones that the celebrities do, they don't have YouTube. And just more in the realm of like, and I listened to so many podcasts like a few years ago, so many. Mm-hmm. And then
you were a Part of My Take stan.
I loved Part of My Take. I mean, I love Part of My Take. I love those guys. But yes, I listened to. I loved it. I used to be. No, I watch, and I still watch like the interviews of people that I really like and things like that. And I do that for anybody's show here, like when they have a great guest on and I want to hear it. But there's so many shows here that it is hard
you don't have to. We know.
No, I know, but I'm saying there's so many shows here that when I do listen, I'm like, and you always hear the chatter in the office about what everybody's doing. But I listen to so many other podcasts, and then I went to search more information on Tanner Buchanan because I was like, has he done some interviews? Like I was looking like, has he done He's All That press, like whatever. And I saw that he did Anna Faris's podcast, and she's so great. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to that because of course, you know me, the description was like, Tanner's girlfriend comes on. They talk about their relationship. I was like, that's the stuff I want to hear. So I listened to that. It was great. Like, she is such a different, you know what I'm saying? It's great.
Podcasts are great.
These long form conversations.
Interviews, incredible. They're really great. Which then led
Fran's
me.
like not realizing like this is literally her job.
No, I know it's quite literally my job.
She just now realized that she's a podcast.
No, I do it, but it's like you just don't sometimes appreciate what everybody else is doing too because you're so caught up in what you're doing. And then the other one was, and we've talked about this and wanting to listen to it, but I started because I was like, you know what? I'm in that mood. I'm going to watch One Tree Hill from the beginning again, and definitely influenced by the fact that Drama Queens, the podcast, started. They have like 10 episodes out now.
Yep.
And it's Joy Lenz, Sophia Bush, and Hillary Burton Morgan doing like recaps of every single episode. Every podcast episode is them watching the actual One Tree Hill episodes and talking about it. So I was like, oh my God, I don't know why it's taking me so long to do this. So I watched like the first 2 One Tree Hill episodes and listened to the corresponding podcast episodes. So great. So much amazing insight. Like if you really love that show, it's so great because all you ever want in like teen dramas and like those shows that you grow up loving is to hear the actors tell you literally every single detail about making the shows. Mm-hmm. Like how cool would it be if for like Gossip Girl, Leighton Meester, Blake Lively, Chase Crawford, and like Penn Badgley and like all of them said, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to talk about every single episode from the beginning.
That would be awesome.
It would be incredible.
About Gossip Girl is that all of those people are wildly more famous than ever. Like,
like
if you think about it,
yeah, Entourage does
shout out to the Entourage guys, Victory podcast.
Yeah.
They're great.
But they, these women have all gone on to do other things, and it is nice because it really seems like they have not watched One Tree Hill since the episodes were on air. So they're watching and taking it all in again, and it's really very cool.
Yeah, I gotta look into it.
Yeah, no,
I haven't listened yet, but I will.
And you also don't need to rewatch. You also don't need to like rewatch the show. If you watch One Tree Hill, you know what they're talking about. If you listen to the podcast.
You're gonna make me rewatch One Tree Hill because as soon as I saw your story last night, I was watching Fired Up.
I saw you were watching Fired Up. I was like, damn, I want to watch that too.
I texted Fran out of nowhere.
It is on Hulu.
What was that? That Gina girl was a freak. She left bite marks all on like a donk. I texted Fran that. She goes, are you watching Fired Up?
The part he's like 11 in Crocs.
Yeah, 10 and a half.
Guys, this is actually a elaborate ad for Hulu because One Tree Hill and Fired Up are both on Hulu.
Oh yeah, I mean we love Hulu, but anyways, I then was like, should I watch One Tree Hill? But then I fell asleep during Fired Up. But yeah, you're making me want to rewatch it.
Yeah,
so maybe I will.
Yeah, and Drama Queens is fantastic.
Shout out to podcasts, they're great.
They're great, guys.
Specifically this one. So if you like it,
specifically this
rate
one,
5 stars and subscribe.
Please do.
Please
tell
do.
your friends.
Tell your friends about us.
Subscribe to the YouTube.
You know what? Subscribe to the YouTube.
Trying to get to 100.
We are trying to get to 100.
We really want to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. That's a big goal for us.
We're at 70.
That's a big goal for us.
I'm gonna make it happen.
What are you about to put on the line here?
I'm not putting anything on the line besides the fact that I'm going to make it happen.
Okay.
We will have more YouTube videos soon, but I'm not going to say what it is because we're accumulating, we're working on it, and then boom, we're going to drop it on everybody and they're going to be excited. So that's great. And yeah, we never tell you guys to tell your friends. So tell your friends about us. Come on, share the wealth. All right, let's get into the topics for today's episode. We got Scott Disick DMing Eunice, Kourtney Kardashian's ex-boyfriend, about Kourtney and Travis in Italy. Olivia, Jade, and Matt James are 2 new contestants announced for Dancing with the Stars. And Kristin Cavallari is dating Chase Rice. Shout out Victoria F. We also have a great interview with Eboni K. Williams from Real Housewives of New York City. So let's get into it, starting off with Scott Disick. We always post about our new merch on social media, but we never really talk about it on this podcast. We do have new merch in stores. Not only do we have the Outer Banks stuff, but we got tank tops, we got shorts, we have great zip-up sweatshirts, all great new Chicks in the Office merch.
Zip-up
Fran
hoodie
and I wear all the time.
Fantastic. Do not sleep on the zip-up hoodie, folks.
Fire. People always compliment it. They're like, where did you get that? I'm like, we made it. It's a Chicks in the Office zip-up hoodie. So you can go shop that now. But if you're like, I don't have the money to shop that, don't worry because Sezzle has a plan for you. You can go to the Barstool Sports store and shop now and pay later with Sezzle. Sezzle is a buy now, pay later solution that allows you to get what you want today while paying it for overtime in 4 interest-free payments over 6 weeks. Sezzle is now available at the Barstool Sports store and more than 35,000 stores in the USA and Canada. There are no hidden fees, no credit check if you pay on time with zero impact to your credit score. So once again, get Sezzle. It helps you make your payments over time, not all at once, which means you can go to the Barstool Sports store, shop now, pay later with Sezzle, and get your Chicks in the Office merch. So this story took everybody for a loop this week. Everybody's socks were knocked off their feet.
Off the ledge.
Because Scott Disick DM'd Eunice. And now if you're not familiar with Eunice is Kourtney Kardashian's ex-boyfriend.
That they all don't like.
Nobody likes him.
Nobody liked him.
There was also a physical altercation at one point with Eunice.
Yeah, nobody liked him.
It doesn't seem like anybody likes Eunice. Scott Disick then slides into Eunice's DMs with a picture of Travis and Kourtney. Kourtney's straddling Travis in the middle of Italy on a boat.
Middle of Italy.
And basically says, yo, what is wrong with this chick?
Bro.
Yeah.
He said, I took a screenshot of it because, it'll live on forever. He said, yo, is this chick okay? exclamation point, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, bro, 4 O's. Like, what is this in the middle of Italy? And then sent a screenshot of what I would guess are like Daily Mail pictures. I mean, they're paparazzi photos, but I'm thinking he probably got this from the Daily Mail of Travis and Courtney. It is an unbelievable photo of them on the front of a dinghy. It's a small boat, and she is just completely on top of him. They're making out. They're having the time of their lives in the middle of Italy. Eunice replied saying, "Doesn't matter to me as long as she's happy. P.S. I ain't your bro." So this really feels like Scott hit a low point. He reached out to someone who thought could relate with him, who could maybe commiserate with him a little bit. He just needed someone to tell him that his feelings were validated. And he thought Eunice might be the one to do it. Now, Eunice, I think, hates all of them because they all hated him. And Scott blatantly said in the Kardashian reunion with Andy Cohen, like, no one liked the last guy, right? So, like, Eunice was probably like, here's my time. Payback is a bitch.
Right. And I also think the only reason Eunice responded that nicely is because he knew he was going to put him on blast. He knew he was going to post that screenshot. And so that's the only reason why he was nice. Like, Eunice, there's no way you're happy seeing Kourtney Kardashian straddling Travis Barker in the middle of Italy. No ex-boyfriend's going to be happy about that. But Scott is nuts for doing this because Scott and Amelia are no saints. They're over Miami. Scott Disick's posting Amelia's ass cheeks on his Instagram story. Who gives him the right?
Yeah.
Who gives him the right? Listen, I like Scott Disick, and usually I'm team Scott Disick. But, bro, I'm gonna bro him now.
Yeah, bro.
You have no room to speak.
I know. And now what's sad is also, I think, I really first glance when I saw this was like, this has got to be fake. Like, what's going on here? This is so ridiculous. But what has followed after, and the reports and the sources, it really feels like this is legitimate. You know, there were multiple articles saying, sources say that Scott was embarrassed by this, wish he didn't do it. Kourtney's unbothered, living her best life but that their relationship is as strained as it ever has, Kourtney and Scott right now.
That's quite apparent. And let me tell you this, Scott Disick, no stranger to the weird DMs. Once upon a time,
not that long ago.
Once upon a time, he was in y'all's DMs. Or not y'all, he was in
Megan.
He was in Megan's DMs, who Megan, mugged off y'all.
Yeah.
And Scott Disick got in there.
That seemed more like he was with the other person. It was
right,
more
but
of a
still
joke.
out of pocket.
Absolutely, but still so random.
Yeah.
Completely random, out of pocket, out of line. Scott Disick, close your DMs. You have the fakest Instagram of all time, Scott Disick. You're just posting giveaways. Just log off at this point.
Pictures of Kylie standing in front of bags and
yeah, knock it off, Scott. We like you. Knock it off.
I do think I feel the worst for Amelia in all of this, because it's like Amelia very clearly is infatuated with Scott. I would borderline say probably loves him because, that's like...
I'm sure they
they
love each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure she does love him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure she does love him at this point.
Dating for over a year.
Sophia Richie's probably happy about this.
Oh,
they've been together for a long time. And for her to be I just think lady number 2. There's just no way that Scott sends a DM like this if he, I think, is completely and utterly happy in his life right now and doesn't still wish things worked with Kourtney.
Oh no, if he was so utterly in love with Amelia, he would be happy for Kourtney.
Yeah.
Truthfully. And I know people are going to disagree with that. It's like, oh, you still have feelings for your ex, whatever.
Right.
I think when you are so in love with somebody else, you're not going to care what your ex is doing at that point. Or at least you're going to care. You're going to care.
Yeah, deep down you can have a gut feeling.
Care enough to message.
Eunice. Yes, correct.
That's where this is.
You don't care enough to message the ex-boyfriend that you hated.
You don't care enough to talk about it with random people.
Right.
Maybe with your closest friend or yourself. Keep it inside. But the ex-boyfriend?
Yeah. No. And Scott, he made his bed. He's got to lay in it. At this point. He fucked up so many times he couldn't get Kourtney back. As much as we all wanted it to work and for them to find a way back to each other, it's clearly not in the cards. Kourtney could not be happier with Travis. It's so completely obvious. So Scott now, like, it's sad that he mentally is still in that place where this affects him so much that he's like, I gotta, and everyone's been there before where like you have had a guy, I think especially from a girl's perspective, like you've had a guy who you have been with or whatever and he fucked you over, and then let's say he is then with another girl and he fucks over that girl too, and then you get to talk to that girl and you're like, what a douchebag that guy was.
What's that movie with Cameron Diaz?
The Other Woman.
The Other Woman.
Fantastic
Great
movie. Fantastic movie. Yeah, like Scott Disick was looking for his Other Woman moment of like reaching out to Eunice, and then they're just a little tag team duo of sending Kourtney and Travis pics back and forth and being like,
that would be a great group.
being like,
a great
can you
team.
you believe what she's doing? And the complete opposite happened. And like I said, there, sources are saying that Scott wished he could take this one back. And the last thing I do want to say about it is that it did seem like everyone reacted to it in their own way. Like Amelia, and it's so sad because everybody like posted their own things that I feel like are so accurate to who they are. Like Amelia posted an Instagram story that was a picture. It was a cardboard sign that said, "Let's be nicer to each other. We're all trying our best." Like, Amelia. Poor Amelia. Travis Barker does the Goodfellas, the gif of the laughing, the screenshot.
God,
like,
I love Travis Barker.
That's a
Both
great
of
response.
both of you fucking losers. I'm gonna keep having Kourtney straddle me in the middle of Italy. And Kourtney went with a Bible verse, John 15:7.
Classic.
She posted on Twitter that said, "If you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask anything you wish and it will be done for you." I'm not gonna act like I know what that means.
I don't.
But that's the route she went. So
And
everybody
Scott just promoted his merch.
Yeah, like
He's just
everybody
doing more
just
giveaways
went,
with Kendall.
Everybody went so clearly in like Amelia's just like, hey, can't we all just get along?
Amelia's like, can everyone just be nice to me, please?
Can't we all just get along? Travis is like, ha ha ha, suck my dick.
Yeah.
But do you think
Travis
Scott's
is like,
talking to
I'm
Amelia
fucking your
like,
bitch.
can you believe what Kourtney's doing? Like maybe they're talking about
No, Scott
You don't
is
think?
no, because if Scott was talking to Amelia about these things, he would not have felt like he
Yeah.
needed to message Eunice about it.
it. I want to know what Mason thinks.
Mason is shielded from all of this. He doesn't see this.
Oh, he
stuff.
definitely sees this. He's online.
No, I think that they keep this stuff locked down. We're not going to get into this again.
I'm looking
he's
at
too
you
bu-
two
he's-
like
he's too
absolutely
busy. He's
not.
too busy in school. To,
No.
Stop.
They have to try and hide this stuff from them. We're not.
I'm not going down the path of what these kids are fucking up to.
No. We're moving on. At the end of the day, this was a tough look for Scott.
New contestants for Dancing with the Stars have been revealed. Olivia, Jade, and Matt James. Matt James is not surprising. Obviously, he's following the mold now of past Bachelor contestants going on to Dancing with the Stars. Hannah Brown won, Caitlin Bristow won, Nick Viall was on Dancing with the Stars. Sean Lowe. Now Matt James is joining the
Melissa
ranks.
Rycroft.
So Matt James is not surprising here.
Not at all. Matt James is not surprising. It is funny though because there were some rumors that people thought maybe Tyler Cameron was going on Dancing with the Stars. We had. When he was here and we did our interview and he had said, I'm practicing for a dancing show. He is doing that.
Just a different dancing show.
And we had said during the interview, we were like, look, there's no way he could be sitting at this table right now and be telling us he's going on Dancing with the Stars.
There's no way. And also he was like, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So we knew it wasn't Dancing with the Stars.
Exactly.
He's going on another dancing show. Matt James has taken the Dancing with the Stars spot.
Yeah.
And now Olivia Jade, which people are so upset about this. And
So upset.
at this point, like, I know this is fucked up of me. I know it is, but you just have to giggle a little bit when you see Olivia Jade's going on Dancing with the Stars because you're like, oh my God. The reason everyone was pissed at Olivia Jade was because basically she got everything handed to her.
Right.
The college admission scandal, we all know it. Olivia Jade got everything handed to her. Let's just hand her a mirror ball trophy now too. Hey, not only is she great at rowing, she could dance too. How about that?
I would be shocked if she makes it far, I think.
Well, people aren't going to call up and vote for her. And we've learned now with Dancing.
That's what I'm saying. She just doesn't have the fan base. And especially because Dancing with the Stars has an older demo. I mean, that could be I could be making that up, but I'm pretty sure Dancing with the Stars has an older demo. And also anyone that is just voting in competition shows, I think sometimes stray like very young or very old. That the adults, because of course, and kids were of course upset with the college admission scandal.
Yes, they were.
Kids, especially kids applying to college who, were thinking like, oh, these opportunities, I didn't get opportunities like that. Also massive with parents and parents hating that this went down as well. So I don't know. She clearly is trying to move on with her life. She's trying to use Dancing with the Stars as like as another step. And at the end of the day, she is so young. You can't just expect this girl to sit in her house and not take any job or opportunity for the rest of her life. Be crazy.
I don't blame her at all for doing this.
Of course,
I would do it too.
Exactly.
I think it's a good thing she's doing it at this point. People are going to hate it, but like she can't just sit in her house and cry all day and have people like bully her all day long because her parents paid her way to get into college. Right. Like that is not the worst thing someone's done. It's bad.
Right. If she's still a spoiled brat, then that fucking sucks. But you hope that she's learned from everything that's happened and now wants to actually, she can't just, her life just can't end.
Also, like, and her life isn't going to change.
Right.
Like, she's always going to be Olivia Jade. So, like, everyone's just going to have to suck it up at this point. She's still going to try and be
in the spotlight somehow because that's all she's ever known and all she's wanted to do.
She does not have her fan base like she once did, though, to call in and support her on the show.
Yeah.
But either way,
it's intriguing.
Fun season of Dancing with the Stars.
And it's just like, I'm laughing because I'm thinking of what they could possibly do, like, for her first dance. Because everybody's first dance always is like some kind of play on what their job is or profession is or whatever. And for her,
she comes out in rowing gear. She comes out rowing.
That would be good.
She comes out vlogging.
If she came out rowing, I think everybody would do a 180 on her. They'd be like, all right, fine.
You have to be able to make fun of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Yeah. And apparently, rumor has it she's going to be with Val.
Oh, spicy. She is single now. But Val's not, sorry.
Val is not. Val is married. But
for now.
Yeah.
Look, that's how the show works, right?
Gleb is no longer.
Oh, Gleb is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but like you do think of the past contestants who have been quote unquote controversial, who have gone on and what like kind of dances they do and whatnot. So I'm interested to see how they spin this one for her. Rumor has it that Kristin Cavallari has a new boo in her life, and it's Chase Rice, the country singer who I think if you like country music, you know who Chase Rice is. You listen to country music. If you don't, you probably remember him from The Bachelor, dating Victoria F., being on that one-on-one date, the whole thing. Now, Tommy Smokester in the group chat dropped something on me and Kelly Keegs that we did not know. Chase Rice was actually on Survivor before he was like a country music sensation. Not the sensation, that's very generous. But he was on Survivor.
Chase Rice wears many hats.
Yeah, who knew?
Who would have thought?
Did he go on Survivor for the wrong reasons?
Yeah. Yo, I will say when I saw the headline and it was like Kristin Cavallari's dating Chase Rice, I was like, oh, Chase Rice from The Bachelor. Like,
I know.
That's what's fucked up, that everyone knew. Like, Tommy knew him from Survivor.
Yeah.
Country music fans know Chase Rice.
Yeah.
And then someone like me is like, oh, he was the guy who dated Victoria F.
Yeah. And now this is all alleged, but the rumors around Nashville and seeing some posts, seeing some Dumois submissions and whatnot, Chase Rice gets around. And Nashville's very incestual with like
I feel like
the
Nashville
celebs.
fucks.
Like the Nashville celebs who live in Nashville definitely all fuck each other.
Yes, for sure.
So Kristin Cavallari has found herself with Chase Rice, who is someone that so many girls, same way that like, I'm trying to think of other, like there are other country stars that have reputation.
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. Like there are other not the racist stuff, but there are other
meaning like he
sleeps around with tons of women.
Yeah.
And that where there's always like a girl who has a story of like, me and my friends went to a Chase Rice concert and he invited us to his trailer and blah 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 blah. But he also rumor don't know if there's any facts to this, but rumor that he is also a big unsolicited dick pic sender.
Oh, Chase Rice?
Yes.
Okay.
Not great.
Not great.
Unsolicited.
Let me tell you, this is not the man I'd be choosing for Kristin Cavallari.
No, me either. I feel like Kristin Cavallari could do better than this.
100%.
But also, this is all alleged, and
hoping it's just a fling of sorts.
I think Kristin Cavallari is going through many flings.
Yeah.
This ain't the one for Kristin.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so either. She's just...
You know who's the one for Kristin? Jay Cutler. Those two are getting back together. Just kidding.
For the show.
For the sake of the show.
I'll be completely honest. I really would not be surprised if down the line they did get back together.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Me either.
That would not shock me if I heard that.
They're both going through their flings.
Wait, do they have kids or no?
Yes.
Oh, they do.
They're going through their
3.
flings.
Damn.
2 or 3? Minimum 2, max 3. Children for them.
They got some.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, they'll always be included. They'll always be involved with each other. But yeah, Chase Rice wouldn't have been my pick for her. I think
3 kids.
3 kids.
3
okay.
kids. Chase Rice. We don't approve of you just yet.
There's just so many country singers in Nashville. I know that that's an insane statement to make. It's literally like the music capital of the world these days. We have a great interview with Eboni K. Williams coming up. And I just got to say, first of all, that you'll hear it, we asked about the reunion. At the time, this was before Bravo said that they are going to be doing a Real Housewives of New York reunion. So Eboni has said that she did not know. However, we now know that there is going to be a reunion. Just want to get that out. So let's get into that interview. But first, this is it, folks. Labor Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
The end. We all get sad. Summer, the last few days is near. Oh, I'm not going to do it. But
face. Okay, go.
Yeah. I didn't know how far we were going to take it. But I hope you guys are getting some beach time. It's going to be a nice weekend. Get out there, soak in those last rays of summer, and do that with a nice Coors Light, because Coors Light's the official beer of slowing down summer. It's the best way to stretch out this weekend, make it feel like more days than it is. This is it. We're coming to an end.
You're making this sad.
I know I'm making it sad. Coors Light will make you remember why summer is awesome. That's why I'm saying it. This weekend, drink your Coors Light, sit on the beach. Those hours will drag on, and you'll think, wow, here I go, dragging out summer. It's not over yet. We're not leaving. We're not leaving.
We're not fucking leaving.
We're not fucking leaving. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged. It's literally made to chill. It's as crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Perfect for a moment to unwind this summer. And like I said, guys, this is the time to just drag out those last hours of summer and to make sure a Coors Light is with you while you do that. Coors Light is the official beer of slowing down summer, because as the beer that's made to chill, we want you to savor every second left of summer. Get Coors Light in the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/chicks. And guys, always remember to celebrate responsibly. It's coming from the Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest, Eboni K. Williams from Real Housewives of New York City. Welcome to the show, Eboni.
Thank you for having me, ladies. Excited to be here.
We are super excited. I've been watching this whole season, and you've been a fantastic addition.
Thank you.
I've really appreciated it and everything you brought. But I want to go to the beginning.
Okay.
And ask you how the process was just getting on the show in the first place and what you expected meeting these women for the first time.
All right. So as I've talked about a lot openly, I am a day one RHONY fan, meaning I've watched since the first episode, first season. So like any viewer, I had like a perception as to what these ladies might be like. But, you know, y'all are in the business. So, you know, sometimes what is translated in front of the camera isn't always consistent with who these people actually are. So I would say that once I was cast, I really did like Control-Alt-Delete on like, you know what I mean? What I might, because I got good advice from a couple of previous housewives or other Bravo celebrities that were like, you know, you see it when somebody comes on a new franchise as a new housewife and they've got all these opinions, right? And all this, you know, gravitas towards somebody. And it's like, damn, y'all just met. How? It's because they're bringing that viewer perception to the relationship. And that just seems sad to me. So I really did meet these women with the cleanest of slates and the highest of hopes for like authentic connections and friendships. Casting.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that they were looking at every woman of color in New York. It was past time. And, you know, I think a lot of the people that they were speaking to were friends of friends of friends of friends. And basically, you know, and my ex-fiance had a friend who had a friend who was an executive for our production company. And he was like, oh my gosh, you know, this guy's fiance is perfect. And I was like, housewives really? Like, please.
But you're still watching. You're like, I like the show.
I love the show as a viewer.
Sure.
But never in a million years could I see myself on, you know, just as a housewife. It seems so crazy. But then the more I thought about it, the more it was like, you know what? Maybe this is a dope opportunity to add a little something to the show. And also, obviously, we're businesswomen. Elevate my profile, elevate the work, you know, that I've been doing as a broadcaster for 10 plus years.
Yeah. Now, what is the actual casting process like for a show like this? Like, are you going into a room and are they just asking you questions about your life and they want to see how fired up you get and what kind of personality you bring? Like, I want to know what the actual process is like.
I think under any other circumstances, you'd be going in a room. You got to remember, we cast and filmed during a pandemic. So everything was right on that computer screen. So it started with a phone call, just a cold, old school phone call. And that was 2 hours of just, you know, someone from casting. You know, who are you? What's your story? You know, so
and they're not even looking at you, just phone call.
And I think that's important because I come from talk radio, was the start of my career. So you guys know this is podcasters too. This is cool. The lens is cool. The lens can be distracting. So it's just the conversation. It narrows the focus. Like, who the fuck are you really?
Yes.
And so that's where we start. I think after a 2 hour phone call, if they like what they hear or they feel like there's some there, now you graduate to Skype. And specifically Skype, because I don't know, that's just their thing. Like, they won't FaceTime with you. They want, it's no Zoom. It's got to be Skype. All right. So you do that for like 3 or 4 hours. And then I want to say that's recorded is the word I'm looking for. And because then now they're basically compiling a little bit of a sizzle reel of you. That's like that conversation. They're asking you to do a little phone tour of your home. They want to see the closet. It's housewives, you know, they want to see things. If you've got a significant other, so not a lot of people know this, but when I originally started my casting process, I was still engaged at the time. So he was a part of my original Skype conversation. And whatever. I'll leave that. There's a funny story, but I'll leave it there. That's enough for now. So then they submit all of that to the network, and they kind of decide who they're interested in. And then I think the next step is a chemistry test with existing cast members. And I chemistry tested with Luann, actually. And then from there, it's hurry up and wait. What's interesting is during the same time as I was being cast for RHONY, which was like I have this mantra in life, and I get this question a lot from especially young people, like, oh, I'm interviewing for this job. I don't know if it's the right job for me. And I'm like, who gives a shit if it's the right job for you? Get the offer.
Right.
Always get the offer and then decide. So that's how I was playing RHONY. Like, obviously, no clue if that was the right move for me. And I was simultaneously testing for a talk show, we'll say. And I really wanted it so bad. And then I got the call that they went in another direction. And she's fantastic, so you can't really be mad at it. And then that's kind of like, now what do I do with this RHONY thing? And at some point I'll be able to share more. But the truth is the job that I lost and who they filled it with was like a ding, 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 bitch. You know, you really need to say yes to this RHONY opportunity for reasons that might not be crystal clear in this moment, but will make sense down the road.
Well, it's great. Like we said,
we're picking up what you're putting down.
No,
yeah, it's like crazy.
Absolutely, but you taking this job, we're very, very happy about. And so you said you had watched before. So who shocked you the most meeting them and actually filming?
Sonia Morgan. Sonia Morgan was the most shocking to me.
I could kind of tell that from your interviews, just the way you spoke about her in a way that you were like, you know, she is so much more than what you see on TV.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it was just my lens of her as a viewer. Like, she always seemed like fun, and Sonia Rita, and what's the shit she says? Straw that stirs the drink, whatever. And she is that. I mean, obviously. But very cerebral, very zen, very like goes on meditation retreats for 30 days and doesn't answer her phone and doesn't drink it. Like, she's a very...
Which seems impossible to do now.
I know, right?
Especially when you're in a housewife.
She does it. And like, to the frustration of some fellow castmates and probably even production. But no, she's very into like she'll go on these like binges almost of like self-care for Sonia. And I just like respect it. Sonia's somebody who's very much in her process of like being her best version of herself. And she's just sweet. Like, there's not a mean bone in Sonia's body. And listen, you got to be a little bit of a narcissist to be in front of a camera in any capacity. But by way of that, she's probably the least obsessed with herself.
That's a good trait.
That is. It is funny because, I mean, look, if you're a housewife,
you gotta be obsessed with yourself.
You gotta love yourself.
No, you are. But I think there's space. I would like to think there's space for both. Like, you,
for sure.
I am absolutely obsessed with myself, and I want to just say that.
No. Me too.
But then there's, but then there's also like space for others, space for the world, space for animals, just other things that like need support and help and
caring about other people.
And Sonia does that. Not saying that other castmates don't, but she really that's a big part of her.
What was it like filming? Because obviously you've never had this in your life. Your life is being followed, and also you mentioned an ex-fiance, so that can't be easy, ending a relationship and then boom, you're having your whole life filmed.
And what's interesting is because I come from a television background, but like not this. So I'm very comfortable with camera, so that kind of surprisingly was natural. Like, they do a great job of making you forget they're there. So there's not like a, I don't know, hyper awareness.
Right, because you're like, how do I start this conversation? It just goes out the window.
It goes out the window, like immediately. Like, I don't know how they do it. It's almost as if they disappear, truly. And so you're just engaging. And then, how else was filming? I mean, it was also just so heavy with COVID, and I know everyone's over COVID, but COVID's not over us. And it's like, I must have had my nose swabbed 50,000 times. It's like
production stopped. Production
stopped a few times.
Yeah.
Sonia got sick. I mean, it was fucked up. We couldn't do the things that people love from the show. Meaning, RHONY is similar to Sex and the City in that New York's a character. And a very compelling. That bitch is compelling. New York City is, and we couldn't have that. So like, we couldn't have a restaurant scene, where they always go, those little swanky upper east side places they go. You're not going to get that because the only place we could film was when it would be shut down and only us could occupy it. This isn't Beverly Hills, which means, everybody does relatively well according to their lifestyle situations, but nobody's got like the Kyle Richards, 30,000 square foot mega mansion. So it's
the backyards.
And the resort patio pool set. So it's like we two trips out of 3 were at Ramona's in the Hamptons. God bless her. I hope to never see that house again. Most of us live in 1 or 2 bedroom Manhattan apartments or condos. Like, those are the vibes. So I think people felt that, and so the filming just was more intimate. It was a scrappiness, really, I think, to this season that made it different.
I want to ask you about the age dynamic, because I think that kind of gets brushed under the rug a little bit. Leah, I think when she came on, it was more of something that she discussed. But how did you feel? Because look, these ladies are old.
They're ladies of a particular age.
They
older.
are very much,
mature.
Older than you are.
Well, here's the thing, though. And
sometimes not as mature
as
you are.
I was just going to say, no shade, no tea. But the reality is, how do I say this? I'll say it. Although there's like 15 or 20 years, actually even with the Ramona and I mean, no, Ramona's literally older than my mom. Ramona's, I don't know.
Ramona's
it's
in her
20,
like early 60s.
Yeah, she's 64. I mean, and she's proud.
older than my mom.
No, but she is. My mom's 61. Whatever it is, what it is.
Your mom's young.
She's young. Yeah, she had me 23. She's a pretty young woman. But the point is there's over 20 years between us, right? There's massive age gaps. But when it comes to personality and maturity and lived experience, which is different than numeric age, I don't know how far apart we are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think it's different for Leah because Leah and I, and Leah's my, dear friend. We're very close, but Leah and I are very different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm the youngest on the cast. Leah's a year older than me. Shout out to my fellow Virgo sister. She just turned 39. I'll be 38 in like a week or so. Leah relishes in the adolescent-like energy of her youth. She's still very much that way. Not to say she's, the shitty things people say in terms of childish. She's not childish at all. She's a really smart, sharp woman and a great mother, by the way, of a preteen. So she can't be that childish. She's doing a great job with her daughter. But she leans into that, like, youthful energy. Mm-hmm. I don't. On my podcast, Holding Court with Eboni K. Williams, I'm referred to as Auntie E. Like, I relish in, like, the stripes I've earned being a woman of a particular age and really life experiences. Like, shit, I was divorced by 28. I grew up with a single mom. I, started practicing law at 23. Like, I'm an old soul, and for me, it served me well. So I lean into that aspect of my personality. And I think Leah leans, towards the youth. And I think that kind of explains our relationship with the women.
Yeah. And you were talking about this life experience that you had, and the other women on the show, obviously they've had their own life experiences, but they've also just been on this show for a really long time.
For 13 years.
like,
for 10 to 13 years.
Oh my gosh.
Ramona's been on the show for
13 years. Same with Lou.
Same with Luann,
and Sonia 10. I mean, if we could be really candid here, I mean, that means they've been famous.
Yes.
For 13, 10,
They've
11
lived a whole
years.
different life.
That's a very different life.
Yeah.
They've had
and by far some of the most popular housewives of all time.
All of them. Yeah, they're iconic.
Yep.
Listen, for whatever shit we get into, they are fucking icons.
Yes.
I want to be very clear about that. Every one of them in their own right. But, I'm in a very, they all had these massive marriages and they've raised their kids. Their kids are, young ladies now. Totally different station in life.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with some frozen fucking eggs, trying to figure this shit out. Next step, get this second, hopefully last marriage right. At very different places in life. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with Ramona, I think a lot of people were interested on how you two were going.
Yeah, thank Francesca.
Get along. How were these two possibly going to be in the same room together? We saw this happen multiple times, and Ramona's tactic is kind of just to turn her ears off and run away. But you did not stop trying. Mm-mm. You did not stop trying, which I give you a lot of credit for. How do you think you guys ended the season? Do you think that she learned anything from
okay, those
these
are different
discussions?
questions.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so let's slow them down. Yeah. We ended the season great.
Yeah.
Which is like lovely, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's some really kind of, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but there are some superficial things that Ramona and I have in common. What do I mean by that? Literally, we have the same body measurements. On top of that, we also have like a similar taste of life, meaning when we go out to group dinners, on or off camera, Ramona and I are probably drinking the same cocktail. We're probably sipping on the same bottle of wine. We're probably sharing, like, we just kind of like to do life on a, like, in terms of, like, that's why during my Harlem dinner, I gave her the Duke Ellington candle. She's a tastemaker. I fancy myself a tastemaker. So these are the things that Ramona and I can really connect on and vibe on. Then there's things that we don't fucking connect and vibe on, and they're very obvious and need not be said. So that's, and I think where we ended, because we had dinner maybe, now it's probably been like a month ago, we had dinner at Avra, and I think it was kind of like we hadn't talked in a while, so it was nice to kind of just start talking again. And I think it was like, I see you see me, I respect where you're at, don't fucking agree with most of it. She would say the same. And we're grown enough women to just let that sit.
Which doesn't happen a lot now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sometimes having those conversations can really absolutely break up friendships.
Totally.
And you never talk to that person again.
Yeah, you guys didn't come to blows with it. Like, you were like, we're just going to go back and forth on this.
And it's so clear to me where you are and where your limitations may be. I think she's very clear on what tactics don't work with me, you
Right.
know, like the gaslighting, the fragility shit, the running away and putting on the butterfly necklace.
The
Bitch,
vertigo.
you can go do all of that and I'm still going to be here sipping on this champagne.
Yeah.
So now what is it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And
So do you feel like now you guys can be at a place where you can both enjoy the things that you do enjoy together
That's
and then
exactly
put the
what I
other
think.
shit to the side?
Yep.
That's great.
And it's not fake, right? Because it's not
You
like
genuinely feel that way.
Yes, I genuinely feel that way, and I think she genuinely feels that way. And it's not that we're dismissive rather of the things that are outstanding. We know they're there. You know, it's like a big old thing, and you know it's there, honey. But it doesn't have to destroy the opportunity to enjoy what we can of each other.
Definitely.
And I feel like that's just a lesson for people in general.
I think so too.
It
I'm really
definitely
proud
is.
of us, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably our relationship is the one I'm most proud of because it had the most challenges. It still has the most challenges. And I think to both of our credit, like we both see enough good in each other's spirits to be able to make space for what you described really perfectly.
Yeah. It's and right, like from a viewer standpoint, there were times where I was like, I don't know how they come back from this, but you guys always did, which is great. You had also such a personal journey on this season with your own family, the DNA tests, the making those connections with siblings that you never knew you had. Where is all of that now?
So happy to report. I talk to my sisters often. Actually, I ask everyone to just put them up in your prayers because they're all in Southeast Louisiana, who of course just tragically has been hit by Ida, including my mom. I was talking to my mom with Katie outside. She's waiting for someone to come help her generator so she has power. So it's a mess down there. Prayers up for Louisiana and Mississippi. I talk to my sisters often. They're beautiful women. They are powerful moms. They are great. Just one's a little younger and one's a good bit older, and they're just phenomenal women. And we are getting to know each other as that, y'all. We're not trying to force like braiding each other's hair and putting in pink bows. Like we're past that. Everybody's grown. So now it's let's get to know each other as women and it's build friendships, and that's where we are. So that's been great. I've not had any real communication with my father outside of that first call that you guys saw. I called, left the voicemail. He did call me back. We had a brief but potent kind of introduction to one another. I don't know how you introduce yourself to your kid and dad at 40 almost, but that's what we did.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And you know, it was just like surreal, like to hear his voice and be like, oh, do I sound like him or not? It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it. And I wouldn't trade anything for the journey. Do I wish that we would have made more progress by now? Yeah. You know, but you know, I have to also like try to be, and I'm very much a proponent of therapy, and I'm a graduate of the Hoffman Institute. So like just, you know, doing that self-healing and work is something I'm always into. And, you know, I'm like really, what's the word? I'm working on, y'all, divorcing myself from a fantasy that I had about what this would look like. Right.
Yep.
Like if anybody out there for any reason, adopted, not adopted, whatever it is, and you've had a parent missing, and then there's this fantasy we all create of what it would be like the day you meet this person, and of course, you know, it's rainbows, it's sunshine, it's it just hasn't been that, you know. It hasn't been that for us, and that sucks. But I'm an optimistic person, contrary to popular belief. And I remain hopeful that one day we get there or get somewhere, you know. In the meantime, I'm really enjoying my sisters. And the fact is, I have a dad. I know who he is. I look pretty much, you know, a lot like him. And that's pretty cool to know.
Yeah. Now, I haven't personally been through something like that, but I can understand that I feel like most of the time it isn't rainbows and butterflies. Like I'd imagine it's just hard for it to be, but I could see why you would like create this image in your head. And then also you thought someone may be your sister.
Yeah, sure.
And then they're not. And that's
so
gotta
sad.
be a fucking roller coaster and has to make you feel very sad because do you almost feel like bad for her as well?
I felt really bad for her because she's so sweet. Y'all saw her.
Yeah,
Ashley is the
she's
sweetest.
so sweet, yeah.
Even during filming, which was a pain in the ass for everybody, and at least we were getting some kind of check. I mean, this woman was just doing this out of the goodness of her heart. Like, she's a saint. She's amazing. And also a frontline worker as a nurse in, New Orleans. So she's amazing. I was really heartbroken when we weren't blood sisters. But I talked to her 2 days ago. You know what I mean?
That's
like
great.
we did, and I meant
So you're
that.
staying in touch.
Yeah, and I said that. Like, you might not be my blood, but that does not mean you're not my sister.
And she came into your life for a reason.
And like, to the extent that I can be supportive and helpful to her and her kids and her family, like, it's all love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, there's been a lot of outside talk, I would say, about this season of Real Housewives of New York.
A lot of chatter.
A lot of chatter. And a lot of, shit's going to hit the fan. Things are going to move around. You're going to see a totally different show. But we are not getting a reunion.
I don't know.
You don't know.
The honest thing is, I don't know. Anybody that tells you otherwise is lying.
Yeah.
And
Nobody
that
knows.
and
Yeah.
how do you feel that you don't know? Just antsy?
How do I feel? No. Only because of all the work I've done on myself.
Yeah.
I'm just at a place of surrender.
Yeah.
So listen, I personally would love to have a reunion.
Yeah.
I think it only helps everybody involved. I think it helps the cast. I think it helps the viewers.
Yeah.
I think regardless of how you feel about the different things that happen this season, conversation's always good, I think. I also have an amazing dress that I'm very much looking forward to wearing. But it's not my decision.
Yeah.
So I've let it go.
Yeah.
It's like Frozen. I really have let it go. It's one of those things that is above me, as the kids would say. Yeah. And I trust that whoever's making that decision knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, we hope for a reunion.
I know.
Yeah.
It's by far my favorite part of any Real Housewives.
Hello. I
season.
actually binged after filming because it was just so much. So when I went to Miami for a couple of months after we wrapped filming and just, kind of chilled out, I binged season 6. Wait. No, maybe 1, 2, 3, 6, 10 reunions.
Yeah.
Like, just all, I watched them all, and it was so good.
Yep.
So
I mean,
reunions
the
are just the
reunions
fucking
are
best.
Yeah.
by far the best. So we do, we are rooting for one.
rooting
We
for
really
it.
hope there is one. And then on top of that, for you, we have heard some rumblings of perhaps a little spot on The View.
Let's take a little time to enjoy the view.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's been announced through ABC News proper that, they are taking like a Jeopardy style approach, which probably that doesn't age
Didn't work for
well.
Jeopardy,
Yeah, that comparison didn't age
didn't
well.
quite
As
work for
that came out of your mouth, you were like,
so
why am I saying this?
The ABC is taking a rotating host type of approach.
Bachelor in Paradise approach.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So,
That's much better approach to filling out what the show looks like moving forward in the absence, of course, of Meghan McCain. And listen, I am just a absolute stan of The View. As a nerdy kid that grew up knowing she wanted to be a lawyer and being a black girl from the South, seeing Star Jones at that table when I was 12, 13 years old. It was revolutionary, and Star and Barbara Walters and Joy Behar and
You love talk shows.
I love talk shows.
Yeah.
I love smart women.
Yeah.
I love smart women. I
do
love
we.
smart women that aren't necessarily like me because that's the growth opportunity. I don't like echo chambers. I like, obviously, that's why I worked at Fox News for 5 years. I like the interplay. I welcome the discourse. I welcome the dialogue. I welcome accountability. And then let's all go out and get drinks afterwards and not forget what we put down at the table.
I think that's great because I feel like we live in a world where everyone's like, everyone must think the same way
that's
or
so
we
boring.
cannot be friends. We can't talk. We can't associate with each other. And it's like, nobody's ever all going to think the same way.
Totally.
That's just never going to happen. So I feel like that's a great way to think about it. Like, let's talk this out and then let's go get drinks after.
And let's go get drinks, and that's what we did. So yeah, I'm really excited to be amongst some really elite women that they're going to have at that table over the course of the next several months to see, what fits, what feels good.
Who would you be the most excited to go up against in an argument around
In terms of
existing?
existing,
Yes, existing.
probably Whoopi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come for the boss, right?
Definitely, because she definitely doesn't hold back either.
Yeah.
She'll
That would be
I
fun
think
to
that'd
see.
be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I have I mean, come on, she's an EGOT for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I have the utmost respect for Whoopi Goldberg, but something about me, and maybe I don't know what I just am. I've got balls of steel, man. I just am not somebody who walks around in this world afraid. And I think the most formidable kind of sparring partners, if you will, match that energy. You know, like even Megan, and I was really humbled when she said this before her departure. Housewives came up on RHONY came up on Hot Topics a couple times, and then I even did a guest appearance. But Megan was like, I don't know what the big deal is about Eboni on RHONY. Like, of course she's kicking the table. Of course she's shaking the table. Of course she's, like got everybody, with their feathers all in a bunch. That's who she is. And that's what I appreciated about her as a colleague at Fox, was because we were often sparring partners, sitting on that couch together with our ridiculously big hair, unoutnumbered, and that's what made it all worth it. So I think the View's going to be really cool.
Well, we're super excited. We're super excited and thankful that you came to see us today and talk to us. We have loved you on this season, and we can't wait hopefully to see you continue with these ladies and what happens, because like we said, you just don't know until they call.
You just don't know. That's. I wish people could just be honest and say nobody knows shit. Yeah. Okay. And everybody could just stop trying to play cool. Like, y'all got tea. Anybody got no fucking tea?
I know. We had
That's the motto. Nobody knows shit.
Yeah. Nobody knows shit.
Dorinda in here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We were like, do you think maybe you're going to be unpaused anytime
She was like, I've been
soon?
put on pause.
She was like, I'll do
It could
whatever,
happen.
if they call. Yeah, like,
I mean,
I don't know.
We could see Alex McCord back with
Yeah, yeah.
Simon. I mean, like, honestly, anything could happen. And in part, like, I wish people would stop trying to write the end of the story.
Yeah.
Let this shit play out.
Yeah.
Because it will.
The fun part. Oh, baby, it will.
Yeah,
and we're all just gonna get a front row seat.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so
much. All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. We hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. We will not have an episode on Monday, but we will be back on Wednesday for Bachelor in Paradise. Fran's going to enjoy the Red Rocks. I'm going to enjoy
I'll be rocking,
some
baby.
sun, maybe. I don't know. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast. We love you guys.